Salve, students, and welcome to Acroasis XLIV, or video 44. Today we're going to talk about the pluperfect passive indicative. Just when you thought these new forms were finished, there's more. So first, let's recognitio what is the pluperfect active indicative. So remember, it's the third principal part of the verb minus the I plus era plus the active personal endings m, st, mus, tis, und. You can also think of it as adding the imperfect tense of sum, esse, fui, futurum, if you wish, and it will translate as had verbed. Now, thinking about pluperfect passive, you've already seen perfect passive. And remember, perfect passive used this two-word form. Well, pluperfect is going to follow suit. Just like perfect and pluperfect both use the third principal part in active, in passive they're both going to use the fourth principal part or the perfect passive participle, and it's going to be a two-word construction. It'll translate as had been verbed, and it is like all perfect system verbs is going to use that two-word format, as I said, the fourth principal part plus a form of sum. And like pluperfect active, our second word, that form of sum, is going to be the imperfect tense of sum. So it's kind of like the same thing, only two words now instead of one. Era is still going to be your indicator. So now let's take a look at how to create this. Step one, take the fourth principal part, which is also called the perfect passive participle. Next, add as a second word the imperfect tense of sum, esse, fui, futurum. You're done. That's it. So now let's try an example. First, let's conjugate lego, legere, legi, lectum. That perfect participle is lectus aum. Whenever you see that fourth principal part ending in a um, just take off the um and add us aum and you have the participle. It's just the book likes to give you the supine form rather than the participle us aum pattern, but it's essentially the same thing. So, which means to read or to choose. Now take a moment, pause the video, and see if you can follow the steps yourself and conjugate lego, legere, legi, lectum and translate it in pluperfect passive indicative. Resume the video when you are ready. Okay, now let's take a look at how it works. Step one, lectus aum and lecti a are what we're going to be using. Step two, we're going to add eram, eras, erat to lectus aum and eramus, eratus, erant to lecti a. Remember, use us aum for the singular and a, the nominative plural endings of those declensions, for the plural. So the finished look will be lectus aum eram, I had been chosen. And remember, we're going to, in a translation, you're going to see us, a, or not all three. We just do it with all three because we are not specifying which one it is. In a translation, you'll see one of those forms chosen, and it'll tell you what gender the subject is, which can be pretty helpful actually when you're trying to figure out which noun is the subject of your sentence. The next form, lectus aum eras, you had been chosen. Lectus aum erat, she had been chosen, or he or it. Lecti a eramus, we had been chosen. Lecti a eratus, you all had been chosen. And lecti a erant, they had been chosen. So this is what you should have in your notes. Make sure you double check it and that it is correct. That concludes this acroasis. I hope you are not intimidated by the pluperfect. As I said, it's fairly similar to the active version. It's just two words now instead of one. Make sure you fill in the Google form and bring any questions that you have in class. While at Teomes.